Why are you complaining all the time? Because I'm a big blue engine and I know everything. I shall complain whenever I want. You're just a small red engine with ideas above your station. I can't see any, said Percy. Where are they? Any what? Ideas above the station. The sky is empty. Like your smoke box, Percy, laughed James. But Gordon was still grumpy. One day I'll show you just what a big engine can really do. So what can a big engine really do? Not speak to silly little green engines for a start, replied Gordon, and he puffed away.
Oh, said the trucks. We want a proper engine, not a red monster. James took no notice and started as soon as the guard was ready. Take care, hissed Gordon. You might stick too. No fear, chuckled James. I'm not so fat as you. Where have you been, lazybones? Asked Thomas. Oh dear, my system is out of order. No one understands my case. You don't know what I suffer, moaned Henry. Rubbish, said Thomas. You're too fat. You need exercise. Toby and Percy were sent to help and came as quickly as they could. Look here, Percy, exclaimed Toby. Whatever is that dirty object? Don't call me a galloping sausage, spluttered Gordon. Rusty red scrap iron, hissed James. I'm old Square Wheels, fumed Henry. Well, Duck considered. I only wish, sir, he said gravely, that I'd thought of those names myself.
Look, they've caught all this fish and a green whale, too. It's not a whale, it's a monster. Arsdale End. That's my home, replied Toby. That's why I like it, especially when you're there and not here saying I'm silly. Good night.
He might choose me, he said hopefully. Well, one thing's for sure, said Gordon. He won't choose Dirty Percy. Don't call me Dirty Percy! He chuffed crossly and he wheeshed away.
Laurie was very rude.
What's that steaming lump of scrap iron doing here? Be off with you!
Scrap iron? Steaming scrap iron? Ha!
Oh, look, it's a little green goblin on wheels. You'll be scrapped. Just you wait and see. Well. No wonder this railway's a mess. You belong in a museum, not working in a quarry.
I might look old, but I'm very useful.
Useful? Pah! Replied the lorry. Just you tootle off.
Tootle, spluttered Toby. Percy looked at the lorry. What's this lump of steaming scrap iron? He teased. Well, the Brothers Grimm. Smashed, broken, and sunk. Call yourself a car? You're a disgrace to the road. Find yourself a scrapyard. James is getting a new coat of paint and won't stop boasting about it. Why, James? I'm the one who needs a new coat. Look at me. I'd rather not, retorted James. You're not a pleasant sight, and wouldn't understand the needs of a really important engine. If you can't push cars properly, Henry, why not talk to a tree instead? You know how much you like the forest.
And you, I suppose, are George? Yes, I've heard of you.
And I've heard of you. You swank around with your steamroller wheels, pretending you're as good as me.
Actually, I'm better. Goodbye.
Your color's nice, James. Pity about your face, though, said a freight car.
Pah! You're late. That smell is making me ill.
It's the fish, replied Thomas, and there's danger on the rails. That's why we're late.
Ha! You're the only danger on the rails, Thomas.
Percy, green and small, he's no use to us at all. Around the yards he'll puff and blow, but on the hills he's oh so slow.
He barely made it round the Cape. After 100 scary days at sea without a scratch, he sailed into port and crashed his bow, not 15 feet from my buffers. Luckily, no one was hurt. Except my ears. Everyone thought it was very funny. You look good enough to eat, Thomas hooted. Pudding, Percy, teased James. Chalk ice on wheels, chipped in Henry. Disgraceful, said Gordon pompously. So sweet and dirty, like a proper steam engine. Peasant, Gordon huffed snootily. Yes, I am pleasant. Gordon doesn't have to go as fast as a jet engine. He's a steam engine. But he's still full of hot air. The tracks on Toby's line are wobbly.
Huh.
huffed Gordon. Old and wobbly, just like Toby. That's not news. My boiler's grumbling. Maybe it's grumbling at you.
What do you think of Spencer now? Whispered Thomas.
Too much puff and not enough steam.
James, why don't you think about something or someone else for a change? You'll be surprised at how much better you'll feel if you do.
You must behave here. You're on the main line now. Actually, Gordon, giggled Ben, when we saw you, we thought this was the scrapyard. Stop fooling, said Duck. I'm tired. So are we, hissed the engines. We are tired of you.
Beep, 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 beep. Hello, fat face.
Rubbish, Percy, said Henry. Engines don't wear scarves. Engines with proper funnels do. Duck was horrified. Shut up, he ordered, and bumped them hard. Did you lose your way, Gordon? No, it was lost for me. I was switched off the main line onto the loop. I had to go all round and back again. Perhaps it was instinct. I suffered dreadfully, and no one cares. Rubbish, Henry, snorted James. You don't work hard enough. Quack, quack, quack. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it till you did. Sir Topham Hatt chose me especially. He must know I'm a really useful engine. More likely he wants you out of the way. Don't blame me, snorted Henry. If we hurried across the viaduct, it might collapse, and then you'd have no passengers at all. What would you do then? Run my train on time, for one thing.
Oh, it's you, said Elizabeth, looking down at Sir Topham Hatt. Have you learned to drive properly?
Shut up, said James. It's not funny. Now wheesht and let an engine sleep. Quack yourself. What a small shed, grunted Sir Handel. This won't do at all. We're much too good for this old shack.
I always said railways were out of date, but you're so slow with the mail. You should give everyone their stamps back.
You said the countryside got you all fired up, James, said Percy, but I didn't think you meant it in this way.
If it isn't, Gordon, said Ben, it's just a pile of old iron, which we'd better take to the scrapyard. No, Bill, this lot's useless for scrap. We'll take it to the harbor and dump it in the sea. Your ugly fizz is enough to frighten anyone. I wouldn't drink too much of that water if I were you, Gordon. It might give you boiler ache. Pah, said Gordon. What's this, Educating Gordon Day? You impertinent scallywags, Duke would say. Whatever are you engines coming to?
The Diesel surveyed the shed.
Not bad. I've seen worse.
He's just cranky on wheels, said James. He's not taking my mail, said Percy.
Ha ha, chuckled Percy. You don't look really useful now, Thomas.
This is better, said Daisy, but whatever is that rubbish? The rubbish turned out to be Annie, Clarabelle, and Henrietta, who were most offended. We won't stay here to be insulted, they fumed.